Let's get to the money, Meng. Yeah, happy birthday. Now let's get back to the money. Okay, what's trading? Global Star Supermicro, Clarivate, Archer Aviation, NVIDIA, Bausch, Charles Schwab, Kanjun, Summit Materials, HashiCorp, Alibaba, CCCS, Big Bear, Fluence Energy, Shopify, Apple, Genworth, Palantir, NiSource, Aramark, Sunstone, Viavi, Tesla, Conduit, and Syndax. Pretty quiet, all things considered. All right, gainers. Select quote. Is that the car thing? Anterix, Regal Rexnord, Kane Anderson, BDC, Lattice, my old company that I started, Travere, Valneva, Ballcorp, excuse me, Ball is a huge company. Adapt Health, Acushnet, Hologic, the MedTech guys, CH Robinson, Mind AI, 500 million market cap. Well, it's gotten killed, so I'm not sure it matters. MIT Netherlands, don't know what that is. Aurora Mobile, Oric Pharma, Biohaven, which we've highlighted here a few times. FTAI Aviation, which has been the subject of a short attack. Universal Logistics, Crawford, PPG, AMTD, Canfight, Biopharma, and XTL Biopharma. Those are the gainers. Losers, Fluence Energy, Harmonic, Columbus McKinnon, ZipRecruiter, Bally's, Viasat, New Amsterdam Pharma, Repay, SynAI, Immunotherapeutics, it's biotech and AI, Biodex, Super High, PaySafe, FIS, Archer, Excelis, Dynavax, Amcor, Westrock Coffee, Grocery Outlet, RLI, Primoris Services, Global Foundries, Sound Group, Arrowhead, and Inspire. Those are the losers. Biggest losers, 41% with Fluence Energy, and a handful of sort of 10%-ish losers, nothing too crazy. All right, by value, Berkshire's traded the most so far today, followed by NVIDIA, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Alibaba, Shopify, Schwab, Palantir, Supermicro, and then Summit Materials, which, again, don't know. It's a $6 billion market cap company, don't know it at all. Johnson & Johnson, HashiCorp, which is merger arb, Costco, Amazon, NiSource, which is what, nickel company, right? Coca-Cola, the Kanjun I mentioned earlier, Meta and MicroStrategy, Marathon, D.R. Horton, Archer, Frontier Communications, and ASM Lithography. So all the guys you would normally expect. So in the stock market, at least in these top companies, there's been, I don't know, 5 billion traded or so far pre-market. Market's only opening in 13 minutes, so kind of a light volume. Yeah, it looks like a red day. Crypto selling off. We could see a decent sell-off here. Index sub 20. Index isn't sub 20. Sub 120, maybe you're saying. Yeah, Berkshire always up the column sizes. I didn't think IonQ was a $60 million deal. Who said 60 million? You making them numbers, homie? Why are you making them numbers? Ain't no 60 million. Don't be scared to get to the money at all times. No, I'm awake. I just have cat allergies. Trashy, my old cat, now newly with me, is just very makes me tons of allergies. Yeah, there were no numbers. In the press release, they talked about their old deals. Yeah, where they had 60 million in old deals that they're still talking about. Arvinas beat earnings, yeah? Did they sell more product? I'm joking, of course, because Arvinas doesn't have any products. Kurt Gödel was Albert Einstein's best friend. He was also a very important logician and mathematician, maybe one of the deepest thinkers that ever lived. Unfortunately, he also went crazy. I think young Shkreli is either dead or in psych ward or something. Some people like to work. Some people like to build things. Oh yeah, he did find a loophole in the Constitution. He never disclosed it. Yeah, I think this is a good time to add or re-add, yeah. Arvinas doesn't have earnings. They have no earnings to beat. It's a biotech company. They don't sell anything. I like GLP-1 class overall, including GPCR and VKTX, but it's like this irony where everyone like already has a GLP-1 or they don't want one. Let's see why this class doesn't even grow much more than PD-1, and there's like 7 PD-1s. FDA approved PD-1s. There's only 2 real GLP-1s approved, so I would think the GPCR and VKTX are valuable, but I like Chinese markets, especially Hong Kong. You can't really trade mainland China. Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty, its incredible detail. Tune into it. They want to destroy your mind, talking about Justin Bieber. Anything interesting going on in pharma? Oh, BioMarin could be worth a look. People have been asking me to look at that one. I will. SMCI dropping a bit there. Baidu dropping. What is CYN? Syngin. Oh, 28-cent stock. Come on, dogs. I mean, it was down big on earnings. So it was 77 on earnings. So it's at 76.5 now. I mean, it's not too, it's down for sure. But I don't know if it's anything to be worried about. This is another micro cap. Yeah, we're going to do an Excel plugin. That's actually my responsibility. I've been slacking. But the Excel plugin documentation is like the worst you've ever seen. It's like atrocious. It doesn't work. Like they've changed it all. How do you do Rust on the front end? I mean, we're considering WASM. We use web workers. Yeah, we've definitely had people find security flaws. Thankfully we don't do transactions. So if we were in a position where we were actually handling customer funds, our security would be a lot different. We'd have a lot more people focused on that. This is like, if somebody tried hard enough, could they see your layout on Godel? Could they see your DMs? At the end of the day, the damage will probably be pretty limited. But we don't want that, of course, either. So we definitely have seen some exploits, and we've been able to patch them. All white hat type people telling us, but we pay if you find a security flaw. You can use your mouse. I use my mouse sometimes. We want to minimize the amount of mouse usage. I don't know if we'd offer a discount. I think we just pay cash. Yeah, I don't think the baby's fans are crypto people. I mean, the thing about meme coins is that the only people who really trade meme coins are crypto people. It's not, Now, Taylor Swift fans are crazy enough that, they would actually onboard to crypto just for her. I use Cursor a little bit. I don't actually use the features of Cursor, though. I kind of use the IDE and it's just like, sometimes I use it. I'd rather just copy paste. I know eventually it'll be really good. Yeah, I want you to look at the volume for Rigetti. Take a look here. And I can export this. This is amazing. There's very few online services that'll let you do this. Actually, Yahoo Finance disabled this. So I export this to Excel, open it right up, and it's a CSV. I'd rather it be in Excel, by the way. We got to get that fixed, cameraman. The download just gives us a CSV, I think. But anyway, it may, actually this looks like an Excel. Regardless, okay, so here's the volume, right? And here's the interesting thing about Rigetti is week over week, so I'm just gonna do Monday over Monday, the volume is down 51%. That's not good. That's bearish as hell. Now, there were some cases where the volume was up. This was like huge volume, and the stock even, I barely remember that. The stock, I guess, went from 6.5. Was that long? That seems like that was, yeah, I guess that was a month ago. And so like, if we try to graph this volume, let's graph the volume real quick. You can obviously do this with charts as well. This is in reverse order. You can see the pretty steep spike down in volume. This doesn't include today's volume, which is just 8 million shares, which probably means it's going to close around 30 or 40 million shares. So, really concerning if you're interested in these stocks. And, IonQ kind of tries to keep their, I don't want to call it a scam. That's not nice, but they keep their story going with lots of news releases and lots of like busy work, basically. Like the general dynamics thing is not going to help them. What's going to help them is if their quantum computer works, right? But it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. It works, but it doesn't do anything. And next year's version won't do anything either. And they're just sort of trying to get people interested and excited about this technology, which, that's their job. That's fine. But it's hard to get excited about this technology. Any of their customers are going to look at it and say, well, look, that was a cool demo. I don't know why we paid for it. I'm not going to pay for it again. That's by the way, what I did. I tried the IBM quantum computers. I wrote them a nice check. And I said, this was okay. It was cool to learn this. But like, and I'm in finance. I know pharma. I know a bunch of industries. Like, is there something I can actually use this for? Nah, not anytime soon. And I love compute. We have tons of GPUs here. Like, I like GPUs and compute. Like, dudes who love cars love horsepower and engines and stuff. Like, playing around with the quantum computer, I was excited. And then when I realized it doesn't really do anything, it's kind of like, that's sad. Maybe next year. And their customers will feel exactly the same way. I mean, I'm no different from any of their customers. When I rent a 8X H100 pod, I get excited. I get my pulse starts going, I get motivated because that's a powerful machine. That's a multi-million-dollar machine. And when I rent the Rigetti, I can't rent the Rigetti. They don't even have it rentable yet. But when I rent the IonQ or the IBMs, I get excited and I realize I can't do anything. I saw the Google investment in 𝐕𝗚era. 𝐕𝗚era does the atom-based, not an ion, so it's neutral atom quantum computing. I thought they were more of an annealer, though. I didn't think they did true gates. But regardless, the fact that Google is putting money to work in other people's quantum computing companies, very interesting indeed. So I'm going to increase my Rigetti short a little bit because, IonQ is doing their thing. And like, if the markets want to believe that there's something special about IonQ, which there isn't, then let them believe that. But, just short Rigetti. Rigetti's not going to have any contracts. Rigetti's not going to have any earnings. Rigetti doesn't put out any press releases. Rigetti CEO is like, when people ask him, is your quantum computer useful? He goes, define useful. Bro, it's not that hard of a word to define. Yeah, Rigetti, I'm feeling, could be wrong, of course, but I'm feeling it. Just the volume disappearing is like, it just means the baggies are like, I'll trade crypto. I'll trade, BBAI. I'll trade, look at BBAI is up. The baggie is easily distracted. He's like, oh, I need a new runner. Some of the baggies used to call them runners. It's adorable. I need a new runner. They're scratching. I think there's some like old Investors Hub and other message boards that are still around from like a long time ago. And some priceless baggie conversations. Baggies like to especially latch on to like random factoids. And like they have the cognitive like inability to like not fixate on something that they think is really important. Like one of the biggest things for baggies is do you guys remember when Sava hired that chief commercial officer? That was so funny. Because I had seen this, like, I've been around the block. Like, I've seen this 100 times. And everyone was like, oh man, Cassava's hiring a sales executive. Why would you hire a sales executive unless you're going to start selling the drug? And it's like, all right, listen, Baggie. Do you understand that a $1 billion publicly traded company to hire one employee doesn't cost anything? It means nothing. And like a lot of the baggies I talked to, including some who, admitted defeat somewhat graciously, like, I was sure that because of this, it must have been this. And I'm like, you got to look at something a little bit more important, like, does the drug work? That's a little bit more critical than, did they hire somebody? Man, people want a job sometimes just to have a job. Take a job for the check and the stock options. What's the worst that can happen? Just find a new job. People scrub that to their resume like it never happened. Why are you betting on Arvinas? It's too complicated. Nobody knows what's going to happen. How much exposure to the market is too much? I'm not really sure what you're asking. Beta or gross exposure? Oh, Dendrion. Oh my God. The Dendrion baggies. Those are legendary. That was legendary. It got approval. ProVenture got approved. How about this revolution business? That's good. You got to pay your baggy dues. We all have done it. Thanks, frankly. We have not launched publicly yet. We will. I don't really want to look at the space sector, man. Yeah, 𝐤𝐸𝗓𝗔 uses your immune system against cancer too. Their vaccine approach is, not really taken off. All right, let's look at Amgen. So the market's definitely moving and shaking right now. So you can always say, well, what happened was, and you can also say, I was supposed to do X, Y, or Z. Plug. I ran off on the plug. Well, IonQ put out their little press release. Rigetti, though, is down a little. Blaze is down a lot. D-Wave is not down very much. QUBT has been drifting down, starting to break. So, I mean, things look pretty bearish. We've all been there, Alex. I've lost various firms I've worked at some money as well. It is what it is. You know, you live by the sword, die by the sword. That includes when you hire people too. Farcoin is hanging in there. I think it's a good short. Oh man, there goes BBAI. Do I dare? I know this stock's kind of too strong. I don't know if I want to fight it. Yeah, NASDAQ doesn't really have a bell. They have a button. There's no real ceremony to it, you know? I don't know. This is definitely a weird market. Financial freedom with Dennis. It looks very bearish to me. But things can turn around in a heartbeat, you know? Vol drops, for sure. Payment processors are like one of the most important like bottlenecks on the internet. Yeah, Michael, I agree. I'm going to be a little more patient. I've been too impatient with these shorts. Acting like me pressing the short button is going to make the stock go down. You know, you can't act that way. Yeezy is down right now. Yeezy.com is down, if I'm not mistaken. I have a software company, Shanmuka. I don't want to start a hedge fund. I think Ye is just doing performance art. I think he is basically like, what's the most offensive thing I could say or do? I think he's probably pretty different from a lot of us. I think he is super creative. The problem with the brokerage firms is that they don't really have much of an incentive to work hard on their information systems because the average retail investor doesn't want a complicated information system. You know, Godel is not designed for retail. I'd say we're kind of bootstrapping with retail, but a lot of the users are not retail in the first place. They're like smaller hedge funds, stuff like that. Very high net worth people. You know, there's certainly some retail in there. But you know, we're not going after retail. I mean, we want to be an actual substitute for Bloomberg at a very high price point for hedge funds and banks and things like that. We welcome people to use our platform regardless. If it's overkill for them, then it's overkill for them. But we want everybody to use our platform. But the main revenue driver is going to be selling the Citadel and stuff like that. FinFab, okay. Let's take a look. You're telling me this is an Apple? This is an Apple app? Where's the news? Okay, so when I look at news on Godel, I get real-time news. It's so yeah, there's no like news or time of the news or anything. I don't see any scrolling news. See this economic calendar, stock news. Oh my god, this thing is built on Yandex. Is this Russian? Is this Russian, homie? Where's earnings estimates? Oh, the whole site's down. The Google account doesn't really give too much other than a token. You think some guy at a hedge fund is going to sit there with his iPhone? Hold on, let me put in this multi-$100 million trade. It's not even a terminal. There's no commands. What kind of terminal is that? I have never watched The Big Short. That is true. Yeah, there's a bunch of books I recommend. I even have a books.xlsx on my GitHub. I've never watched The Big Short because I lived The Big Short. I don't need to watch it. That was my life. That was/is my life. I've shorted more stocks and more capital than Michael Burry. I get the gist. I get the gist. All right, should we watch this Howell testimony? You guys want to see the
our 2% goal?
He's about to go full Kanye.
Success in
whose bank account has just been taken over by a scammer. No more cop on the beat looking out for people getting ripped off.
Too bad. Your agency has been closed.
Talk about that in a sec. But the answer to my question, please.
Let me interrupt you.
CFPB do its job.
Just a big CFPB advertisement.
And author of
She doesn't have any questions. She just wants to advertise herself.
Or giving pressure from Wall Street to erase other
I need government to help me.
failed banks. During the first Trump
RGTI Rigetti's
Is that what I hear you say?
looking very precarious.
Great. Well,
Very precarious.
Order partially filled.
Ooh, I like this lady.
The president's be received from such.
No, I got a wifey. I just, I'm proud of her ability to push back against Elizabeth Warren.
Congress.
fraudsters,
Fake
scammers,
agency, please.
and they have returned
Fake
billions
agency that you just made up.
to
Order
our
filled.
Okay, well, glad that's over. I was just saying that we're seeing some weakness across the board here, notably in quantum computing after seeing a few months of strength, huge strength, and some weakness in stocks like MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, some meme coins. Mostly the stuff that's gone up a lot is coming down a bit. See Robinhood, HIMS, a couple stocks that are weak after huge results. Not universally true, by the way, but that's kind of what is generally seems to be happening. See Palantir's down, for example. So we'll see if that continues. We don't know. We can't predict stocks day to day. I mean, to me, there's a book, Market Wizards, and I think it's the first or second interview where the guy describes something called market tone. And this is one of my favorite interviews in the whole book, where he basically says, you can tell the supply and demand of the market based on its reaction to news. And I'd been trading for a long time when I read this, but I was surprised to see that. And I kept reading, and he said, listen, when there's positive news in the market and it sells off, that just tells you that the buyers are all kind of impatient and looking to exit. And IonQ had this sort of indisputably good news today. Wasn't great, but they have a little partnership with a major company. I don't think it's going to be something that is going to really materially affect the company in the long term. But it's good news. And some of us were even wondering, are we going to get run over? Is it going to go up to 45 or something like that? And so to watch the stock go down on good news is very weird. And there's plenty of stocks that are up today. GameStop's up. A bunch of stocks are up today. So it's not like it's impossible for a stock to be up today. Plenty of stocks are up. It was up. So the fact that it's down 5%, some of the other guys in quantum are down even more, is to me shows you the positioning of the traders in this space. And usually, if the longs are too long, the speculators are really heavily long. It basically means that they have supply and that they'll be exiting as the prices drop. But markets can do anything. They can do anything they want. So don't take it with a grain of salt.